the future is human. The future is not AI. The future is a human that is using AI. AI oversight, transparency, security, all these things were always addressed from the very beginning, from the fundamental days of the AI conversation. I'm very privileged, first of all, to have both expertise in AI and blockchain. This overlap is a huge game changer.
No, I think definitely Dubai allows a very multi-dimensional personality to come out.
100%.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Live, Work and Play in Dubai for Economic Times. As always, I'm Shraddha Bhandari, your host for the day. And you can probably make up by my tone how excited I am for today's episode. So let me sum up the speaker that we have today in very legendary words of the Hollywood masterpiece Kung Fu Panda. Legendary tales tell of a legendary warrior whose skills were a stuff of legend. Of course, he's not doing physical kung fu, but he's doing digital kung fu, helping entrepreneurial rookies fight their way against the world, helping regulators really frame very conducive policy, and making the world a transformative place. So we have today Dr. Marwan Al Zarouni, the CEO, the AI CEO of Dubai Department of Economy and Tourism, and the CEO of Dubai Blockchain Center, along with 1,000 other things he does, for example, being a very pivotal part of the Digital Assets Task Force. We are very, very grateful to have you here today, Dr. Marwan, and very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to be here with you today and looking forward to the conversation.
Super. I mean, your resume and your achievements were so big that I think I spent more time in forming this introduction than I did the entire podcast. So I hope I've not missed anything. If I have, please feel free to add.
No, you did an amazing job. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the rest of the podcast as well.
Perfect. So let's step right in. Every time a speaker graciously says yes to us, Dr. Marwan, we do a little investigative journalism on him. So I've spoken to a number of rookie entrepreneurs, investors, companies about you. And clearly, no one had bad things to say. No one said one bad thing about you, only great things. You're equally comfortable, sandboxing with entrepreneurs. You're great with investors who are looking for regulations, etc. So it's a very deep career spanning AI and blockchain, with parallels to the city of Dubai emerging as a tech hub. But I want to know what got you interested in this field. What was that one event or that one experience that really sparked your interest in the space of future tech?
And I think for me, it was at the very early stage. So I started programming when I was around 8. An uncle of mine got an MSI computer. It was called Sakhar. It's basically a very basic home PC, but it had Arabic language, so I could program in Arabic way before I learned even to speak English or program in English language. And that sparked curiosity. And then the same uncle actually took us in the summer to be in something called the Dubai Science Club. And over there, we learned everything from electronics to taxidermy to arts and crafts to photography and film development and all this other stuff. And to have all these things being exposed to you as a kid here in Dubai shaped how I looked at the world, shaped my world perspective. And that, there are a lot of things you can explore. There's a lot of things about anatomy and biology that we learned from taxidermy, because you can see the muscles, you can see digestive system, you can see in electronics how things work, how your TV, VCR at the time worked, and everything else. So once you have that kind of fundamental knowledge of things, including computers and programming, it gives you a very, very refined worldview, very deep tech kind of look as well into how code works and how hardware works. And that's really shaped how I formed my world perspective. And moving forward from that, year on year, skill by skill, self-learning about a lot of things really shaped how I looked at the world, basically.
Well, we all need uncles like that, I think. So I think you mentioned in one of your earlier conferences and podcasts that in 2014, when you were talking about blockchain, everybody would go, what are you talking about? Right. So how has this transformation come from 2014 to now? And how instrumental has been the entire facilitating ecosystem in Dubai to help you really build this ecosystem of future tech?
I think in Dubai, we are very fortunate to have great leadership here that has this foresight into thinking about not only how technology can enable us, but also what regulations need to be there, how to draw the strategies, and how to draw the best talent to run these strategies. If that doesn't work at any point in time, how to quickly change those expertise to better people, better companies, better partners. Dubai thrives and leverages always on the best, and whether they are individuals or companies or even partnerships at other countries in any space actually is extremely important to us. These partnerships and these relationships are actually extremely important as well. So it is with this kind of vision and this kind of eagerness and drive to be at the forefront with the best at the space and compete and work with them as well at the same time is extremely important. This ethos of Dubai, of always pushing the envelope, always treading where others are fearing to tread in, and adopting and leveraging on technology to do that, and also in the enablement of technology through regulations and also through choosing the right people is extremely important.
So let me drill down to the micro now. There was a survey which said that Dubai's population, I think, is about 80 to 90%, tech prepared. So all of us, for example, use AI technology here. We're trying to do things on blockchain. The government is building, the private sector is building. I would like to understand that what are some of the concrete use cases that either the government is using or you have come across in your entire sandboxing journey that are using these technologies to make a real world difference?
There's a lot, actually. So one of the key ones is identity. So digital identity is extremely important. In the UAE, we have UAE Pass, which is our go-to standard digital identity platform. It is at the same time an enablement to as a single sign-on, a single window kind of app to get you into any other app as well. So you do away with all these frictions and all these kind of creating new accounts for every service you go into. You just have your pass, and that's your gateway. All the services, all the payments. We have a Dubai Now app as well, which is a single window payment solution, as well as services solution for across all Dubai government and semi-government entities like telecoms and other things that could be in other places in the world, a huge kind of a multi-window kind of visit or pain point, and you have to go run physically from one department to another department for approvals and things like that. We streamlined the whole thing with using a single app, which is extremely important. A lot of people, even us in Dubai, take it for granted. It was a long journey to get to it, and we're reaping the rewards right now, but it was not easy. And even continuing that with complete new unlocks for Dubai, using technology is the way to go. And this is the way that I think is the Dubai way to improve life in Dubai, improve the happiness of the people living here in Dubai, and improve the overall experience of the visitor, the resident, the expats that live here, the children in school, the entrepreneur, the person who wants to find where the closest gym is and find the closest, how to pay for parking. Even today when I came here and parking, there were multiple levels of parking. There was a premium parking, so if you're willing to pay a bit more, you can find parking. You're basically paying for your time with VIP parking and things like that. So a lot of other things that we take it for granted, it makes the user experience seamless. This focus of Dubai on the user journey and user experience is extremely important, and we're continuously revamping that to make it better and better. And we're competing with not other countries and regions. We don't even look at that. I found and I heard a very interesting, not argument, but discussion today when we were talking about real-world assets. Somebody was saying, we should look at other international benchmarks. And somebody said, no, we look at what we do in Dubai and what we've done in Dubai as well. So it's not only comparing yourself to others and benchmarking that way, but you're comparing yourself to what you've done in the past as Dubai and as the UAE.
So just on a lighter note, what are some of the ludicrous, funny use cases of these technologies that you've been involved in? Something that you doesn't have a very mass appeal, but it's fun to do and it's just unleashes an innovative streak. Is there something that comes to your mind?
There's a lot, actually. And the pain points are sometimes very silly. Sometimes, there are jobs as well that were there and the processes that nobody knew what they were for, but they were there. A lot of times the law or regulation is actually removed, but the process still the same. And people get stuck in habit, get stuck in approval processes. Even though the underlying law is no longer there, the requirement is no longer there, enforcement is there, whether it is through a process or through habit. People just assume that you cannot do this anymore. These are the things that we're working on right now in Dubai to remove even more. And this is a flywheel that we're always trying to improve. It's a flywheel that we're trying to get right, which is the continuous process improvement and continuous revisitation of the pain points. And extremely important to how Dubai not only thrives, but also attracts people to get their ideas on how we can improve processes on a regular basis. And this is the Dubai way, actually, of improving everything, getting a really good feedback loop, not only from us internally, but from externals and also new kind of perspectives coming in.
Understood. So when I was talking to a lot of people, the sense I got was that you're at the very center of entrepreneurs innovating, regulators trying to form forward regulations, and then investable capital. So as a startup with some great ideas, if I was to come to you for advice on, how to set up in Dubai, what are the opportunities to take advantage of, accelerators, incubators, mentoring opportunities, micro communities, what would you say to me?
I would say learn by doing. Start with minimum viable products. Start with an idea. Test it. Dubai is one of the best places in the world to test ideas. It's very small. The licensing fees are very small. Start with the idea. Vet it with your friends and family. Go to a lot of meetups. You're spoiled for choice with meetups in Dubai across all industry sectors. You're spoiled for choice also when it comes to mentors. People you can, test the ideas with, test the merit of an idea. Look at if there's anybody doing something similar, whether it's in the same industry or otherwise. Everybody in Dubai is approachable. You can actually go and talk to them, whether it is in an exhibition or like a hackathon or a meetup or even startup pitch competition. Just look at the Dubai calendar. You'll see a lot of exhibitions, a lot of opportunities where you can kick off ideas against other people as well as other entrepreneurs. So once you have that and once you have your MVP, there are a lot of ways where you can get funding to your project. You can get also a lot of all other people who are enthusiastic about the space. That's why it's always a good idea to not only create the idea, but have an execution plan. And for that execution plan, also learn by doing and really jump into it head first. You need to do that. You cannot have it as an idea, parked on the shelf, and then you have only yourself to blame for parking it. And Dubai is the perfect place to do these kind of projects.
No, I agree with that. Dubai is a place where you have to just headlong get into execution, practicing, of doing things, reaching out to people. So how does the National Blockchain Center, for example, or the entire Dubai AI strategy, how does that help in getting innovation and then sustaining it in Dubai?
So when we started with the Dubai Blockchain Center, we started with the idea of education. So we wanted to bridge the gap, first of all, of education, understanding the benefit from blockchain technology, for the benefit of Bitcoin at that time, for financial freedom and that kind of stuff. We actually initially wanted to call it Bitcoin Center because there was no such thing as blockchain. But then as soon as we wanted to pitch people about Bitcoin, we realized, okay, the value take is not Bitcoin. The value take is the technology it brings, which is blockchain technology. And we changed the name, changed the way we handle the education to teach the fundamentals of how blockchain works initially. And then from there, we realized that there's room for teaching the regulators on what this technology is, so we can actually front run how education and how regulation should be done. So we went to the executive office, we went to His Excellency Omar Al-Ulama, talked to him about what we want to do at the center. And he was very graceful in acknowledging us as a bunch of young people at the time. I'm still young, I guess.
Of course.
Giving us a place, which was in Area 2071, to be part of the launch of Area 2071. The team in Area 21 was completely supportive as well to have our classes within the area, as well as in one of the initiatives, which is the Dubai Future Academy, teach our classes there, whether it is for regulators on how Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were regulated, whether it is for government departments to teach them. And at that time, where there was already a strategy from 2 years before that as Dubai blockchain strategy from 2016 to launch blockchain within government departments, basically eat our own cake or eat our, it's called eating your own dog food, sorry. And the government departments were already realizing those use cases, and we created an insights paper actually at the time on how to best use blockchain technology and the learnings at different stages of blockchain implementation within the government, pre-project, during the project, and post-project realization, and how to sustain it. A lot of blockchain projects that came out in government, whether it is in the UAE or abroad, were actually abandoned because it was not sustainable. Technology improves, value take from it change, and if you're not always keeping up with tech and keeping up with the latest trends, you're actually doomed, so to speak. So having that continuous flywheel that I told you for improvement and always revisiting the process and everything is extremely important. When it comes to AI and the AI outlook for the UAE, we were one of the first countries in the world to have an AI minister. I mentioned His Excellency Omar was very supportive in the blockchain space as well, and he was very supportive in the policy setting for AI. And also when he became the Minister of AI, he went head first and hit the ground running with policies, creating the different, initiatives within the government, not to only drive adoption, but set the right, blueprints and the right ethics frameworks for AI to not only flourish in Dubai, but be done in transparent, secure, ethical, unbiased way in the UAE. And that's extremely important on the federal level as well as on the state level, and especially in Dubai. For example, we had the AI Ethics Committee back in 2017, which is one of the earliest places in the world where you can have not only an AI Ethics Committee, but also develop a self-assessment toolkit for AI, which we've done at the same.
So incidentally, I'm one of those geeks who's read the entire AI ethics policy of the federal level and Dubai. And I don't think there is a parallel in the world anywhere yet. So people are now starting to work on, the EU is working on it, the US is working on it, but I think Dubai really took the cake or the dog food in it, I think. And I heard Minister of State for AI also in one of the conferences, and he said in 2017, it was a very lonely affair. He used to be the only Minister of AI. So him and nobody else. I'm sure it was the same for blockchain. But do you increasingly see like a more global adoption of Dubai's position, a sort of vindication that Dubai was right in being the early mover in all of these things and therefore helping shape the global policy?
Yes. And I think it's a long road still. We're still at the very early days of AI. I think one of the thought leaders on AI is definitely His Excellency Omar Al, and I think he had a huge learning also to happen with everything that came with it. So not only the tech side, but also policy and regulation side. You mentioned we were very early, but we were very blessed to be that early, to get that feedback from international entities. We're through the World Government Summit, the AI retreats, and other kind of mechanisms that we have here in Dubai, and also in the World Economic Forum, World Bank, IMF, a lot of other, UNICTAD, a lot of other vehicles. We were able to get a good feedback loop on what we're doing here in the UAE. And this sounding board or hearing ourselves in international events and bodies really resonates with us very, very well, because, saying something and then hearing the same message sounded back to you and people praising the approach is extremely reassuring that we were correct. But sometimes, like I said, when we are not doing the right thing, that is, when we hear these like showstoppers or some other policy that comes out that we came up with or we wanted to ideate or we kicked off in one of the, thought exercises that we have in internationals, we get really good perspective and feedback. And that's extremely important. And we have in Dubai something called roundtables that we do with the industry on a regular basis. And without those kind of mechanisms for capturing the feedback, you sometimes breach the gap or create a huge gap between the regulators and the industry. And in Dubai, we don't want that to happen. We want to be very close to the industry. We want to be very close to the street as well, to the boardroom, to everywhere where AI will have an impact. And for us, it's extremely important to be relevant in all these kind of conversations. And to do that, you need to be very close to every single person. You need to understand what people are talking about in the street. You need to understand what every technology that comes up, what is the right way to approach it, how to talk about it, how to engage with the community as well. A lot of people were scared, as you know, with AI worldwide about fearing for their jobs. In the UAE, we came very quickly and said, no, we are AI. In our cases, we're looking at it as a tool for doing your job better and giving you better quality of life, where we have AI as human-centric. So the future is human. The future is not AI. The future is a human that is using AI. AI oversight, transparency, security, all these things were always addressed from the very beginning, from the fundamental days of the AI conversation.
Absolutely. I think Elon Musk appreciated it in the World Government Summit this time with Minister of State for AI. So now moving on to slightly lighter topics, Dr. Marwan. For any city to be truly global, you need to go beyond business and technology, right? You need to have recreation, culture, things to do. So I'm going to start with two parts of this. What are your favorite things to do in Dubai? Those hidden gems that people don't know about. And secondly, what is the government doing to promote that, healthcare, education, cultural aspects, so that when so many people move here, their families move with them and that culture sustains?
I think Dubai, you're again spoiled for choice when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to concerts, is one of the things I enjoy a lot. Even access to stars and celebrities in Dubai, you're spoiled for choice for that. There's a lot of meet and greet kind of events happening in Dubai. There's a lot of bespoke events as well, very intimate kind of venues for superstars that you don't hear a lot of publicity for around the world, but it is a Dubai kind of thing. So a lot of stars prefer to have those very small venues in Dubai to do their, very intimate concert. And I love doing that. This is one of my favorite kind of things to do in Dubai, but also you're spoiled for choice when it comes to Michelin star restaurants, and that's one of my vices as well, eating very high quality food
with the family. It's a good vice to have.
Indulging in food sometimes is good. But Dubai also, when it comes to things like access to really world-class medical, tourism, medical kind of facilities, tests that we have in Dubai. And I'll give you an example, like early cancer detection. We have a lot of labs here in Dubai that do that. And in other places in the world, it's very hard to come up with those kind of tests. And we want to attract even more of these kind of tests and lifespan, health span kind of projects to Dubai. I'm very big on this kind of topic. So whenever we have any events or any kind of conferences around health, we have today one actually, Derma Dubai, about beauty, skincare, healthcare when it comes to longevity for your skin, actually, and tests. And I took a picture this morning. It was super scary because it was like a very close-up picture of my face. And I looked dazzled in the picture because they thought there was a flash there. But apart from that, it was a very insightful, picture telling me where my wrinkles are, telling me what I'm doing in my daily routine that is wrong, all from a single picture of the face, And those kind of projects, those kind of, quirks that are here in Dubai that can help you, not only be entertained, but also have a healthy life, happy life. Poetry sessions in Dubai, acting classes here in Dubai, ballet for the kids. My kids do ballet, football. I go to soccer practice every once in a while. Everything from piano lessons to classical music concerts.
True.
We have the facilities for opera. We have facilities for plays, for concerts. We have Coca-Cola Arena, which can entertain a huge number of events. And we are growing this even more. And we would love to have even more artists, performance arts, people moving to Dubai to increase the talent in the space. And comedians is a big growth area also for us. I love doing that as well here in Dubai.
Are you also a stand-up comedian? Have you tried your hand at stand-up comedy yet?
And I did in college, but it was not a very long and successful career, I would say.
Wow.
But I love attending and you know, conversating with comedians as well. You have to be extremely talented to be a comedian, actually.
No, I think definitely Dubai allows a very multi-dimensional personality to come out. And so one of our guests also told us that it's one of the places where you can get a boat license and a pilot license easily as compared to any other parts of the world.
100%.
So perfect. I will now move on to the part about UAE-India tech corridor that's emerging. India-Dubai tech corridor. A number of Indian startups are, looking to set up in Dubai, raise capital here, build in Dubai for the region. So what are some of the opportunities that you've been involved in from a government to government level? And just because a large part of our audience is going to be these startups, how do they go about planning their strategy?
So let's start with the overall strategy for Dubai. So we have something called D33, which is Dubai Economic Agenda 2033. One of those key initiatives within the 10-year plan is basically creating new corridors. And I think India is one of the prime examples of creating a corridor, not only for tech, but also for things like speeding up approvals for medications. I mentioned things like longevity, health span, lifespan. So there are certain themes as well. In addition to this Dubai 400 plan to scale up 400 companies from Dubai or startups from Dubai to the whole world. There's also a unicorn 30, so 30 unicorns out of Dubai, grown from Dubai or attracted from other places and moved to Dubai and scale up from Dubai to a unicorn. Another initiative and another theme is PropTech, so property technology. This morning in Dubai, we had a real-world asset roundtable as well. And I mentioned these are extremely important to have these roundtables with the industry. And to do it often and do it very early as well is extremely important. So PropTech, health span, lifespan, sustainable manufacturing. So if you have any kind of companies that are looking into not only manufacturing, but also the sustainability aspect using AI, using clean materials, recycling, having a very small carbon footprint, all this kind of stuff plays a huge role. And it's a huge area for innovation for us here in Dubai. But AI as an underlying idea is extremely important. Virtual assets is the same as well.
And you're a part of the digital assets task force, right? So I'm just curious, what sort of conversations are happening around the regulators? So there's been so many global changes. Now in the US, you have President Trump, who's supposedly a crypto president. The EU is now sort of loosening up regulations around AI and sort of digital assets, etc. What route is Dubai taking? I know you can make payments in digital assets. It's a recognized form of sort of mode of exchange. But what is the future looking like for digital assets here?
I think we're still very early, first of all. Regulatory clarity is extremely important. We have a made-for-purpose regulator in Dubai called VARA, which we started very early. We set the pace. We're actually the best in the world right now when it comes to virtual asset regulation, but we're not stopping there. We're trying to address new kind of market segment, new kind of projects. Payments you mentioned is one of those things that is actually regulated by the Central Bank of the UAE, and that's on the federal level, and they've done and launched or announced the digital dirham, which is going to play a huge role. There's a lot of other payment kind of solutions that are being tackled, not only in Dubai, but across the whole UAE and with India and with other partners like China, for example. All these will help the liquidity between the different countries, will help things like trade finance, this single window kind of ship, air, sea, land kind of thing will help a lot as well. Digitization of logistics is extremely important. Logistics by itself is a huge area where India and Dubai can work on in a huge way, and companies related to logistics is a huge opportunity to capitalize on. It's one of those big things that in Dubai we're doubling down on, logistics, and using technology for easing that is extremely important. Digitizing the whole end-to-end, door-to-door kind of logistics is extremely important. because that's a huge pain point in a lot of regions. And when you streamline this, you get huge wins, not only in time, effort, cost, but also in the experience of shipping something or building something, or the overall price of the item going to market. And with all these things that you mentioned with tariffs in the US and that kind of stuff, it makes a huge difference. In addition to that, there's a lot of other things that India can help Dubai and the UAE, and vice versa. The flow of goods, easing of flow of goods is extremely important, but also more important is the flow of talent and how easy it is for people from India to move to Dubai. Very important for Dubai also to access the Indian market for scaling as well. So in both cases, it's extremely important to make that streamlined. So one of the programs we have in Dubai is a Golden Visa program, which is a 10-year visa program for tech entrepreneurs. There's also an entrepreneur's visa, which is a 5-year program as well. So you're spoiled for choice for the barrier for entry for those kind of programs, but also the pathways you can have to enter Dubai and live in Dubai and work in Dubai and raise a family in Dubai. And in Dubai, we have a lot of Indians that call Dubai home, a lot of Indians who are actually born in Dubai and they end up bringing their family and even learning in the universities here and schools. So, and end up calling Dubai home. So, and that's extremely, for us, is extremely long-term kind of solution and a long-term kind of relationship. And it's always been at the core of what we do in Dubai. Dubai is a very, very well-known trade city, and one of the biggest trade partners is India, of course.
Absolutely. So when you say Habibi, come to Dubai, you actually mean it. So my final question now. We're reaching a tipping point in terms of convergence of technologies, right? So there are a lot of places where AI and blockchain are coming together to create smart contracts, to be able to innovate and capture that innovation. So the trust between the government. So COVID vaccines, for example, there's an entire theme that if the entire process of how COVID vaccines were developed could be put on blockchain, and that could result in trust between the government and the citizens much better. How do you see the future of these technologies converging? And we've had, since the last couple of months, we've had DeepSeek, we've had Google Willow, we've had Grok 3, but there are also issues of privacy, accountability, tech competition. So how will these convergences evolve according to you? And how will Dubai address some of the negative aspects of it in the long run?
So it's this. I'm very privileged, first of all, to have both expertise in AI and blockchain. This overlap is a huge game changer. And having AI improve how inefficient blockchain can be is a huge win. So whoever is doing that, there's a lot of people who are doing that. They're reaping the rewards right now. There's something called agentic AI, and one of the first use cases was autonomous agents on social media that were actually occupied with wallets that they can spend from using crypto. So that's a huge one and a huge market kind of opportunity that a lot of people capitalized on. Another way is vetting the training data sets for AI using blockchain and signing them with digital signatures, which is a huge win as well. I'll give you an example. So one of the projects I worked very closely with is called Circular Protocol. So what they're doing, and you mentioned the COVID vaccines, what they do is basically vet not only the end result of a medical trial, but the whole process. So when you get to that kind of drug discovery or something like this, you can go and revisit. That gives you transparency, security, that gives you assurance that the results were not manipulated after the fact, but that also gives you a snapshot of every single step of the process and accountability to who did the test, and a lot of the other things that connotations that you can not only go back to, but provide a self-auditing kind of mechanism. Also, for example, if we take something like an AI robot surgeon, for example, in the future, or an AI autonomous car.
Yeah, this robot surgeon is already happening. I think China experimented with it.
Yes, and of course, accountability of that robot, what algorithm it used, and how that was trained. And was it, and in case an accident happened, just like a black box, a blockchain can provide a huge layer of assurance and in-time testing of every kind of decision making even in real time or in the training kind of model that was used. So all of these things bring a huge value to using those two combination of AI and blockchain together. And whoever capitalizes on this, like for example, circular protocol or any other kind of agentic AI, people are reaping the rewards right now. And it's also providing you as a consumer with a cost-effective, very easy self-audit kind of project capitalizing on those two technologies that go hand in hand, which is AI and blockchain.
Thank you, Dr. Marwan. I think for our listeners, you've highlighted on a number of opportunities that they could start potentially working on. Startups, all the venues that he's highlighted, investors deep down in the segments, the companies who want to come to Dubai and build in Dubai for the region. He's your man. He's made some excellent suggestions. Please reach out to him. Please reach out to the government. It's a very sort of a transparent way of engaging. And let's build in Dubai for the region. It's a wrap for us. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of Live, Work, and Play in Dubai podcast. Until next time, where work meets opportunity and opportunity meets success. Thank you so much, Dr. Marwan.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you here in Dubai.
Inshallah.